Hey guys, and good morning. As I said, I would go through a Bioscan with you. So what I suggest you do is go and get your Bioscan right now so that you have it out in front of you and you can have a look at it. So I never, ever talk about weight. I always talk about your muscle and your body fat, okay? I'm never really concerned about how that is on the scale, your actual kgs. Because at the end of the day, it boils down to how much muscle do you have and how much fat do you have. And for me, I always look at it from a health perspective. How is that going to affect your health? And yes, weight is one of those health issues, but there are various other issues as well, which I'll explain today. So what I'll show you from a Bioscan, which is pretty cool. If you have a look at that top section there, the weight for this person, 62.4 kgs. Of that 62.4 kgs, their muscle is 26 kgs, which you can see there is on the high end of normal, okay? If you go across to the other side, you can actually see the ranges over here, the normal range. So you can have a look at that as well if you struggle to sort of read the under normal to over. But if you have a look, of that 62.4 kgs, 26 kgs of that is muscle and 15.6 kgs is body fat mass. So if you have a look again here, you can see it's within range over here, all right? So your total body water is over here. And again, there's the range that you sit within. You want to make sure that you're on the higher end of water, because if you're on the higher end of water, the Bioscan can read, my hair. The Bioscan can read because it actually works off water, and obviously we're made up of water, so we want to make sure that our water levels are high. This mineral one over here is a representation of your bone density. Now generally if people on the higher end of muscle mass, they will their bone density will be good because muscle pulls on bone, and that's why we encourage people to do strength training, because when you strength train, the muscle pulls on the bone, which improves bone density. Okay. So if we come down to here, you'll see that there's BMR, body mass in relation to height. Now, people don't use that anymore because what they realized is that if a person's made up of more muscle, they're then going to be higher on the BMR scale. So if you're higher muscle mass, your BMR is going to be high. So, and we want you to be full of muscle because muscle is responsible for your metabolic rate. It's responsible for better bone density. So what we want to do is, we want you to actually be full of good quality muscle and obviously to have less fat. So if we come down to here now, we'll have a look. We've got body fat percentage. So it takes the muscle and your fat and works out as a percentage in your body, how much fat are you made up of. This person over here has 25% body fat, and you can see the range is between 18 and 28%, okay? Over here, you've got your waist to hip ratio. Now, the reason for waist to hip ratio, why it's so important, is because your waist needs to be smaller than your hips so that blood flows from the heart through the body and comes back up again to the heart. Now, if it's got to go through your big stomach and your big hips, what happens is it puts a lot of pressure on the heart, and the heart has to pump a lot. So if I've asked you, is there heart disease in your family? Is there high blood pressure? Is there cholesterol in your family? And then you say to me, your waist to hip ratio is out, this becomes a huge health risk factor for you. It's a big, it just shows that you're predisposed to heart disease ongoing because you're putting a lot of pressure on your heart. Obviously, with good eating and exercise, that waist to hip ratio will come down. Now, your basal metabolic rate is if you were to lie flat on your back all day long and do absolutely nothing, that is how many calories that you would burn, okay? That goes up depending on your muscle mass. That always goes up because you'll require more calories to sustain your everyday activity. So your basal metabolic rate is that one there, and your calories per day should never be less than that. Okay, when you come down to the bottom, in order to achieve your goal, this is the recommended amount of calories. Now, what I need to explain is that I don't work on calories, I work on macronutrients. I look at the body and your lifestyle and what you're predisposed to genetically, and then I work out what nutrients you need in order to perform optimally. I do not, macronutrients are carbs, fats, and proteins, and yes, they do convert into calories. However, a diet on 2,000 calories of McDonald's, if you ate 2,000 calories of McDonald's and then you ate 2,000 calories of chicken breast and broccoli, your body is going to perform and look very different. So when you say to me how many calories, I'm more inclined to look at nutrients. You could have a pasta-full diet of 1,400 calories, or you could have a chicken and broccoli diet of 1,400 calories. You're going to perform and you're going to look very different. So this eating plan is based on nutrients, not necessarily on calories. So over here, it's got muscle and fat control, and they will recommend how much muscle you've got to pick up, how much fat it is that you've got to lose, and then it'll rate you as a fitness score. To tell you the truth, the fitness score over there, it's out of 100, and I don't like it being called fitness score. It's basically just an overall score. It's not a fitness score. Come on, who did burpees and push-ups in the making of this Bioscan? But yeah, so I like to call it a score out of 100, and it takes your age, your height, your weight, and your muscle and your body fat, and goes how much out of 100 are you. So that's a good indicator of where you're going. Now, if you have a look over here, this is your segmental lean. You've got your left upper body, right upper body, left lower body, right lower body, and then you've got your trunk. And this person over here, you can see, has got normal muscle mass in the left and right arms, and it's matching. Normal muscle in the stomach, and then normal on the left and right side. So if you are 200 grams difference between your left and your right side and your muscle, we need to just monitor your training and make sure that you are not overcompensating on one side. Once you go to 300 grams or more, we seriously need to be having a look at your body positioning when you're training. The only way to really track that is to monitor you over the 8-week period, and then at the end of the 8-week period, look at your Bioscan and see if there's been an improvement. If there hasn't, the trainers then have to make more tweaks to your program. And obviously personal training is an option to iron out those imbalances. If you have a look at this one over here, this is your fats. And here you can see normal fat on the left and right side, normal fat on the stomach, and normal fat on your left and right leg. So again, this is just to show you how your Bioscan basically works. So if you've got any questions, bring them into session, or I've got them at the moment, but I will go over them with you in session. Have an awesome day.